come to you today as someone who carries within him the true aspirations of Zeon.
Hello everyone, welcome to Zeonremnants channel, and in today's video, we're doing the much requested overview of my armor that I wore at guardiancon 2018. Now, I really didn't do a good work in progress video on how I made this. I have some footage, but it's not all that great, so I don't know if I'm going to put it up or not. I figure if you guys want it, I'll do it. If not, this is basically going to be the best we're going to get of this armor, because it was done in a rush, and I was learning a lot of things on how to do this and whatnot. So anyway, we're going to go over this, and first, I just want to say to everyone that stopped me at guardiancon and took a picture with me, you guys are freaking amazing, and you made my day, and literally fueled me for the next year to continue to create things and to have a booth at guardiancon next year and sell some props, sell our shirts, and just, you guys gave me a huge self-esteem boost. It was a really stressful time to get this armor done. I actually didn't finish this armor until 4 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, and that was the day I was wearing it, and the con was at 11, so I didn't get that much sleep either. And you know, I'm really proud of it though. There's some things I'm going to improve on, and we're going to talk about that. But let's look at the armor, and I'll go over everything on it. So here we have the, as you guys can see, this is the Prison of Elders Titan armor, and I'm wearing an exotic chest piece, the Twilight Garrison, which I want to upgrade. We're going to talk about that in a minute. My mark is the best mark never in the game, the Team Titan mark. Because why wouldn't I wear a Team Titan mark? This is just an old Team Titan shirt that's been cut and ripped up. And if you want your own Team Titan shirt, you can go on my Designed by Humans page, and you can buy one. Isn't that cool? Alright, let's take a look at this. So we got the Kelslayer helmet. The Kelslayer helmet, this was a template from Atom Bomb Studios. I will link them down in the description. They have a YouTube video and a speed build on this helmet, and the schematic can be bought on Etsy. And so this was a very complicated helmet. I'm really glad there was a schematic for it, because if there wasn't, I don't know if I don't think I would have been able to tackle this helmet on my own. I'm still learning how to craft, you know, and kind of take a 3D object and break it down in order to create it in foam. It's a really interesting process, and one that I'm still definitely trying to master. So I'm really glad there was a helmet. I myself made some modifications to the helmet. Primarily speaking, on the template, this is like a foam piece, and then there's like a slit for your eye. I didn't like that one bit. So I was watching an Evil Ted video, and I saw these no-face chrome masks, and basically, I can see out, but you can't see in. So I thought, wouldn't it be really cool to just use that in lieu of making a foam piece for this? And basically how this is attached is underneath the main helmet, there's actually an inner helmet. And so as you can see here, my little vents, which aren't good enough. But the mask is not even attached permanently. It's just, you know, the elastic on the mask is just wrapped around the inner helmet. And that's it. And that's basically how that's attached in there. This helmet fits really good on my head. I want to maybe add just a little bit of extra padding inside just so it fits more snug. And a big problem I had at guardiancon was the ventilation. I had tried to ventilate. I don't know if you can see through here, there's some holes that go into the inner helm. It just wasn't enough. My inner visor kept fogging up a lot. So I got to add some fans to this helmet and also add some more ventilation as well. And also during the con, one of my little screws broke off. I don't even know how that broke, but it did. Alright, going down now, we have the shoulder pieces. Now the shoulder pieces I basically made from scratch. The main shoulder bell part on both shoulders is the Vampire Hunter D shoulder template from Evil Ted, and I will link that down in the description below. Then everything else was crafted by me, so just this main little part, the actual shape of the shoulder, is the template, and then all these pieces, and this piece here, and then of course all the weathering, that's all me. I think the shoulders came out really well, especially the right shoulder. Same thing, this is the template from Evil Ted for the Vampire Hunter D shoulder armor, and then I went ahead and I just added onto it a bunch of different things, you know, this piece here, this weird thing that this armor has. I don't know what this is for, but it's on the armor, so I did it. This came out really well. I really like the way this looks. The only thing that this is missing is that there's like this weird braided like rope pieces that go across. I want to do that because I didn't do it and it's supposed to be on there, so might as well do it. Then, of course, we got the Twilight Garrison. This also was from Atom Bomb Studios. They have the template for it. Another thing I'm really glad to find a template for, because I don't know if I would have been able to do this on my own. Like I said, I was kind of in a rush when I made this armor. I did it over a couple months in my spare time, and I wasn't able to battle damage the Twilight Garrison like I did with the rest of the armor, which, you know, kind of sucks, but I had to kind of prioritize at the end. So I decided, you know what, I'm not going to weather this right now. I'm just going to say, hey, this is a new exotic, therefore it's brand new and there's no wear on it. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. But I do want to go ahead and I want to definitely upgrade the Twilight Garrison. I was thinking of putting maybe lights or something in the little things that pop out. People were asking me about that. But otherwise, the shape I think is really good. And it fits really good. A couple modifications that I made was I kind of improvised and I put these parts, they're kind of floating on the armor in the game, and I attached them to the waist piece here that goes around. And then I added these buckles here so you can just take this on and off. And that it fits really good on me. The couple of changes I want to make is I'm missing a couple of logos. Like there's like a 17 on the armor with a circle around it. I want to stencil that in. I want to go ahead and redo the Twilight Garrison logo. It's kind of crooked a little bit. I burned it in initially, and I wasn't able to like really paint it very well. So you see there's like some white in here where there should be black. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to build it up. I'm going to add another piece of foam on top of this and just do it in a better, more symmetrical way, and then it pops out a little bit more than me burning it in. Otherwise, like these came out really good. The arrows were burned in. The REC-4, this is burned in too. And then I want to redo the, obviously the weathering. The rub and buff I did at the hotel, so I wasn't able to seal it. So on a lot of the pieces, the silver's kind of faded. So I go ahead, I got to redo the rub and buff on the armor, seal it, and then also on the chest piece, I'm going to go ahead and actually add some battle damage to it so it matches the rest of the armor. Moving down to my waist, I'm wearing just a vacuum hose that I just super glued the two ends together. It just went well, and then on the Titan mark that goes with this armor has like this weird cable or whatever, so I use this to kind of also cover up the belt, so you just see the little hanging pieces from my mark. Now here we have gauntlets. These I made from scratch, and I'm pretty proud of these gauntlets. Part of me wants to redo them just a little bit, but I think they came out really well. If you guys have noticed, you'll notice more of these pieces here. These are little rings that you can buy from Harbor Freight in like a big plastic case. I always have these on hand for detail, and they work really well. The problem is a lot of times paint doesn't adhere well to them because it's like a rubber. So like right now, like this is like dry as far as the paint won't rub off on your hands, but it's like sticky to the touch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I put a layer of Mod Podge over this, if that fixes the problem. If anyone else has that issue, let me know. But I encountered this issue quite a bit on this piece of armor here. Going on here to my other arm. As you can see, I did different battle damage on each side of the arm. You know, maybe a thrall scratched me here or something like that. And then just like general wear. Wherever there was going to be wear, I actually dremeled this in so you can actually feel it. And there's like a texture where you see paint has worn away, which I've always liked that aspect of weathering. I actually like being able to kind of feel the weathering and see it a bit better than just having silver paint. Now, of course, on some parts, like here, you know, you're going to have silver paint to show wear on the edges, but then you have stuff like this that I like, where it's, you know, been like dropped or something hit it or scraped against it, and then you can see that wear, which I always think is pretty cool. Alright, going down to the legs. The legs I did all from scratch. The thigh armor I think came out really good. you know, just the battle damage and the layers. There's a lot of detail that's burnt in. There's a lot of, you know, detail here that I did with brass tubes to make these circles. This is burned in. These pieces are on top, so are these. Got little screw things here. And this just came out really good. And basically all it does is that it loops around my belt that I wear around my waist. And then there's one strap that goes around my thigh. And actually, it works really well. That was another concern I had making this, since I never made an armor before. How do I strap this thing to my body and make it look like armor? And that was definitely a work in progress, but to be honest, I'm pretty happy with the way I got it strapped. So, coming down here to the knee, again, did the knee 100% from scratch. I really like the black parts on this armor because then the silver shows up really well, even though it's faded a little bit. Like I said, I'm going to redo the silver, and then I'll clear coat everything. Going down to the left leg, again, you see the wear that I've actually put into the armor. And then we have more of these grommet or O-rings here. And these are, like I said, just like they're sticky to the touch. I'm gonna try some Mod Podge, see if that works. But I like the way these came out. The problem with doing the white armor and you want to have effects is that silver doesn't really show up too well in white armor. So what I did was, obviously you guys can tell I washed the armor with black acrylic, but I put more black into the areas where there was wear so that when I did the silver on top, it showed up better against the white, which I think worked out really well actually. Just see here, I got shot in the leg. Someone has bad aim in PvP or something, I don't know. And we come over to the other armor piece. It's roughly the same as the left one. Now, the thing that also sucks about this armor is that everything's asymmetrical. This side has a thigh armor, this side doesn't. This side has this little thingy, this side doesn't. The two knee pads are different, the shoulders are different, even the wings are different. Only thing the same on this armor is the gauntlets, which is weird. But so the black right leg is roughly the same, just doesn't have this piece here in the middle. And again, this is from my own design. I just looked at the game files and I drew it up and refined it. And so this is all me, 100%, which, I mean, really, doing legs and knees, thigh, and gauntlets from scratch is the easy part. I had to do the hard stuff, the chest and the helmet, by looking at someone else's schematic. So eventually I want to get to the point where I don't have to do that, but as this was my first armor, I felt like I needed the help, especially with the armor I chose. Wasn't exactly the easiest choice, but then again, I don't do things the easy way anyway, so I need the help. But the stuff I made myself, I'm really proud of, and I think that it came out really well. Then we come here to the right knee, which again, different than the left knee, and it has like this, the fallen symbol. It's kind of like, in the game, it looks like it's like dug into this piece, so I did that. And then this piece especially has a lot of these grommets. Just based on the imagery from the game, there's a lot of out and in detail on the knee, at least the way I looked at it. And so I decided to just really kind of do that quite extensively on this knee piece, because I felt like it would bring some more dimension to the knee. And also because in the game there's a lot of these things sticking out and looks like there's a lot of bolts and all kind of stuff. So this worked out really well. These grommets really came in handy, especially for this armor. And I really liked the way that it helped and came out. And then, these inset, like screw holes here, is just a Dremel, just on high speed being pushed in. That's a trick, Bill Duran shows that I like to use. And for this armor especially, it worked really well, because there's just a ton of that, because this is fallen armor and it's all scavenged and bolted together. So, and then originally I was going to wear a jumpsuit under this. I bought one from Amazon. I returned it since. Didn't look good, didn't fit good. I ended up just wearing a black long sleeve shirt, and then for the pants I ended up wearing Bullet Club jogging pants, which the Bullet Club logo was on the left leg, so the thigh armor covered it, which was great. And then for my head, I wore ski mask or whatever you call this thing, burglary mask, whatever. Some gloves that I wore are these gloves here, which I've had for a while. I just always thought they were really cool, so they worked out really well. And then on my legs, I actually ended up wearing a pair of kick pads. from when I used to wrestle. A lot of you didn't know that. But so I have a black kick pad for the right leg, and then the white kick pad for the left leg. And I also used to do martial arts in these as well, but I haven't used them in a long time because I haven't wrestled or done martial arts in a very long time. And they came really clutch for this case. The only other thing I want to do to this armor is I need to get a new pair of shoes because I wore those Fila's over there with the blue in the back, and it just kind of looked awkward with blue showing up in the back of my armor. You guys already know I want to do the chest again, ventilate the head, and then I'm thinking of adding a ghost. I'm going to use one of those bendy lamps, cut it, and find a way to attach it to my shoulder and over, and then attach a ghost to it, so it looks like a ghost is floating over me. And then the weapon I'm going to make for this armor is going to be the Lord of Wolves, which is my favorite gun in Destiny. I love the Lord of Wolves. I used to use it all the time in D1, and they really need to add it in D2, so hopefully when Forsaken comes out, they do that. But everyone, this has been an overview of my armor. I'm really proud of it. It's the first armor I've ever done. And I really need to put the underclothes on the mannequin so it looks better. I think it looks awkward with the porcelain showing through or whatever this mannequin's made out of. I posted a video of day 2 which has a bunch of pictures of me in costume with a bunch of awesome Destiny fans that stopped me to take a picture, and also some funny footage that I took while I was messing with people in the armor. So if you guys want to see more pictures of the armor, you can definitely check out that video, or you can check me out on Twitter at twitter.com/Zeonremnants. Thanks everyone for watching. Leave a comment down below. What do you think of my first attempt at making a full set of armor? I definitely didn't go the easy route. I went for a pretty hard set of armor, and I think I did really well, and I'm really proud of it. It was a lot of work, a lot of sleepless nights, and again, didn't even finish the damn thing until 4 a.m. the Saturday of the con while I was painting and weathering in my hotel room. But it was definitely worth it. Everyone really enjoyed it, and I'm really glad that you all liked it, as I was really, honestly anxious about it the whole weekend. I was like, what if people don't like it? This is going to be bad for me, and then people won't want to give me commission if the armor's shit, you know. So I'm really happy you guys enjoyed it, and it made me really happy seeing everyone's reaction and wanting to take a picture of me. It was really cool. So thank you all for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more creative content. If you want to buy a Team Titan, a Team Warlock, or a Team Hunter shirts to support the channel, then go ahead to my Design by Humans website. It'll be in the description down below. Thank you all so much for everyone at Guardiancon that came up to me. And as always, Zeon!